back to my channel. It has been a while since you've at least seen my face on here. I know. Today I have a tutorial for you guys and it's over this look. I like to call this my work face basically because it's very minimal on the eyes and it's really more focused on the skin, a nice healthy amount of glow going on here. There are a few new products that I'm using in this tutorial. I do want to give like a little bit of a disclaimer though, because there's a lot of controversy around this product, not even this product, but just basically this brand right now. But rather than lie to you guys or hold out on information, I might as well just tell you right off the bat. I am going to be using the Beauty Killer palette from Jeffree Star in this tutorial. Some of you may or may not know of the whole drama that is surrounding him and his brand right now. Personally, I had bought this before a lot of that had came out, before a lot of information about him and his past behavior had come out. To some that matters a whole lot, to others it doesn't. But like I said, I am using shadows from the palette and I was contemplating whether or not to even mention what palette I was using, maybe just give you the color shades, what types to use. But I figured, I know I'm gonna get asked anyway on the palette, so I am debating on whether or not to film future tutorials using this palette, or at least featuring the palette. I'm not sure, but if you guys have any negative or ill feelings towards the company, I totally respect your opinion and your feelings. And if you don't think it's a good idea, then by all means let me know and I won't do it, because it matters to me what I film for you guys. But keep the comments clean and, you know, don't get nasty with one another, you know, because that's not cool. And I'll delete them. So yeah, other than that, you don't have to use that palette. You can use any other eyeshadow or palette that you feel like you have on hand that have similar colors. That's totally fine. I usually switch up the shades anyway within this eye look, but yeah. So if you guys want to see how I got this face, keep watching. By the way, I haven't debuted my green hair. Well, it's green / bluish on my channel. What do you guys think? Anyway, so let's move on to the tutorial.
All right, let's begin this tutorial. First off, we gotta get every piece of hair out of our face because, you know, that can always get in the way when you are doing your makeup. No one wants makeup all over their hair. Anyway, to prep the skin, I am using the Benefit Ultra Radiance Hydrating Mist just to give myself some hydration. Plus, it just feels super good in this hot weather right now. I'm going to be using the Nivea Men Aftershave Balm to prime my skin. I'm going to be placing this all over my face and kind of spreading it out with a damp, squishy beauty blender just to pick up any excess. This is a really thin type of lotion, so it's easy to over apply. This kind of picks up any excess product, and it also mixes well with our foundation, which just makes it even more likely to stick to our skin better. I'm then going to be using the So Susan Statement Skin highlighting stick, and I'm actually going to be using this as a base. I'm just going to be placing this directly on top of my skin. You can be as messy as possible with this. I'm just kind of making sure I hit all the major points on my face. Basically, you can be messy with this because we are just going to be using our fingers to kind of smooth everything out. I find that this is a really good technique for those of us who are extremely oily and you want that luminous look, but most luminizing products tend to just make us oily girls maybe feel even more slick. This has such a thick consistency and it just sticks so well to your skin because it's not a liquid base, it's, you know, from a stick base. It just seems to adhere a lot better, but yet you still have that healthy glow showing through from underneath your foundation. So like I said, I'm just going to smooth this all over our skin with our fingers. I'm then going to be correcting underneath my eyes using the Becca Undereye Corrector. I'm already running out of this. It makes me very sad. I need to go pick up a replacement pretty soon. If you guys have a suggestion of what other under eye correctors are good, let me know because I'm always down to try something new. I'm just placing this directly underneath my eye where I have discoloration. I'm going to be trying out a new foundation today. This is the Revlon Liquid Colorstay. I got the shade Buff. It's not new, but it's new to me. I've never tried the liquid version before. I have the mousse and absolutely love it, and I've always heard good things about the liquid. Only thing is, I didn't get the one with the pump. I know the new bottles are now being made with pumps, which is awesome, but I didn't get it. They didn't have my color available yet in that new packaging. Oh well. It seems a little light on me at first, but in all fairness, the next shade over would have been too pink for me. So I like this one because it was light enough for my skin tone, but it also had a lot of yellow in it, and it does oxidize after a while, so it actually adjusted to a really good match for my skin. I'm also applying this with my damp beauty blender and just making sure to press this into my skin. What I can tell from you right now, for it being the first time wearing it, I loved the wear of it. It did give really good coverage. It also didn't feel very thick, but I'll keep you posted. Let's see, I'm going to keep using it for a few more days. I'm then going to be concealing underneath my under eye area. I got a new Maybelline Fit Me concealer. This is in the shade Fair. It's a pretty close match to the foundation, so just to cover up the corrector. I'm also going to be spreading this and pressing this into my foundation using my damp beauty blender, using the pointed end of it. For highlighting and contouring, I'm going to be using my Anastasia Fair Cream Contour Kit. I am using one of the highlight shades to just place this in my highlight zones, which is directly underneath my eye, directly along the strip of my nose, in the center of my forehead, and also my chin. I'm then going to be using the middle contour shade to just bronze up my forehead, and then the much cooler one to just kind of contour the bottom part, underside of my jaw, and then using the deepest contour shade to place on my cheekbone area, also on my nose area. And I did place a little bit of these contour shades along my upper lip line just to give us a more full effect. Once the placement is on, I'm then going to begin starting to blend this all together, again using my damp beauty blender. I first like to blend out all of the highlighted areas. Once that's blended out, I will start to blend out the nose, highlighting and contouring. And then I switch tools. I'm going to be using the Sephora 56 Flawless Airbrush brush to blend out the contour. This has much more of a loose bristle feeling, so it kind of just spreads everything out a whole lot easier and effortlessly. But I do like to also use a stiff stippling brush from time to time. I just decided to give this brush a go since it was clean and sitting in front of me basically. And make sure to blend out your contour in upward circular motions as to not drag the product down towards your jaw. Then you'll be defeating the whole purpose of contouring. And make sure to really blend out the underside area of your jaw, because that seems to be the place where a lot of people just tend to miss. I'm then going to be using the Coty Airspun Powder to set and bake underneath my eyes, down the bridge of my nose, and the center of my forehead, and also the center of my chin. When I was applying my makeup, I really didn't think I used a lot of powder, but now looking back at the footage, I think I used just about the same amount of powder for baking it as I do for any other makeup look. So, you know, just pack on as much as you feel comfortable with. For brows, I'm going to be using the Salon Perfect Brow Pomade. I love the Ardell and Salon Perfect Brow Pomades. I think they are a great alternative to the Anastasia Dip Brow products. Only thing is the color range isn't as wide as a variety, and they don't pull as cool as some of the Anastasia colors do. So, but if you're not super picky on the color and you can get away with just your basic dark brown, light brown, and blonde, then definitely check them out. I'm applying this with a Luxie angle brush, and I first like to outline the bottom side and then the top, and then I like to just fill in the middle with whatever's left on the brush, and then especially pushing upward at the beginning of my brow. And then I'm just going to be cleaning up with some concealer. And then once that's all cleaned up, I'm going to blend away all of this baking, and then dipping my powder brush back into the Coty Airspun powder. I'm just going to be giving my face like a light dust on all the areas we didn't bake. If you are on the normal to dry side, you don't have to do this step, but since I'm oily, I do like to powder my whole face because my whole face does get oily. I'm then going to be taking the cream shade from the NYX Highlight and Contour Powder Kit and just pressing this onto all of our highlighted areas. I'm then going to be using a new product, which is amazing so far, what I can tell. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This smells so good, you guys. Like, you don't even know how good this smells. I mean, it is fantastic. I am just going to be just applying this on from the apples of my cheeks back towards my hairline, on my forehead, and underneath my chin, and on the tip of my nose. I am using a large stippling brush to do this. This one is from Sonia Kashuk. It's one of my favorite large stippling brushes. I love to use this with very thin foundations as well. This works really well with bronzer, and this bronzer has a nice texture to it. It's very unique. It almost feels like a cream because that's how soft it is, but it's powder, I assure you. I'm then going to be contouring with the Sculpt shade from the NYX Highlight and Contour Kit, just deepening up my cheekbone contour and also reinforcing my nose contour as well before going in with blush. This is one of my favorite colors. This is from Tarte. It is in the shade Expose. I am just pressing this on with a large blush brush from Luxie Beauty onto the apples of my cheeks. I'm then going to be using the Balm Cosmetics Mary Luminizer, and I'm using this very large fluffy fan brush, which has been one of my favorite brushes to apply highlighter with lately. It makes it super easy because you just give a nice quick dust over your entire cheekbone area, the highest points of your cheek, and it's just one and done. I'm then going to be switching over to a small eyeshadow brush and just highlighting my Cupid's bow, center of my chin, and my nose. And I find that the very tip of my nose is one of my favorite parts to highlight because I just really think it just adds a nice glam look. So I really like to just focus a little bit right there on the tip. I'm then taking Champagne from the Anastasia Glow Kit in Gleam and on another stippling brush, just lightly dusting that over our blush. This is what's going to really give you that shine, but yet keep your blush shown. I'm then going to be running some Essence Brow Gel through my brows since we're done with face powder products, just to set them and make sure that no powder is still attached to them. For lipstick, I'm using the Melt Cosmetics Nude lipstick, and I am just going to be applying this as normal and then lining my lips with the Graftobian lip liner in Natural, and then I'm just starting to inch my way closer and closer to the center just to kind of give them an ombre effect. The lipstick is very nude on its own, although you can wear it like that, but I needed some definition. I'm then going to be topping this with a gloss. This one is Oh Snap from the Balm, and I love this gloss and it smells delicious. Moving on to the eyes, I am priming first with the Benefit Air Patrol Eye Primer and just pressing this and blending this all over my entire eyelid space with a fluffy brush. I'm then using Courtney from the Beauty Killer palette and just pressing this all over my entire lid up into my crease. You don't have to be super precise with this. This is basically the only shadow that's going to be on our lid, besides the other one we're going to place in a minute. I'm then running this along the bottom of my lash line with a very small detail brush. I'm then going to be dipping into the shadow China White, which is just a pure matte white shadow, on a fluffy brush, and then I'm blending this into the crease where the edge of Courtney meets the very edge of my crease, just so it doesn't look very choppy as it did before we did this step. To brighten up and widen my eyes, I do have pretty small eyes. I am using the Benefit Highbrow in the matte stick. They have a shiny and a matte one. I'm using the matte one just to line my waterline to give it an eye opening effect. And I am wearing eyelash extensions, so no falsies are needed for this look, but just to make sure I dust any shadow or powder off of my lashes, I'm just giving them a quick brush through with a clean spoolie. And then I'm just going to be setting my entire face with this Maybelline setting spray that I'm not crazy about, but I have it, so I'm using it. And this is the completed look, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.